Yo, what it do, everybody? It's your boy Nahgato, and today I will finally what I've been working on and contemplating with, and I've decided to grow the balls to do it. I've been thinking on it for quite a while now, and I'm going to finally release my matchup, my Lucario's matchup chart. A lot of people ask me, like every time I'm streaming and everything like that, everyone asks me what I think of matchups and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be a really neat and cool idea if I just made finally sat down and make my matchup chart. Now my matchup chart is just personally how I feel about certain matchups and my own personal struggles with it and everything. So my matchup chart will look a little bit different from everyone else's. Like there's certain matchups that certain Lucario mains may feel a certain way about, and I personally feel different about the matchups and stuff like that. And I'll be releasing this video in two parts because I want to try to get as detailed as I possibly can with the matchups. So starting off today, we'll be discussing his bad matchups per se, and we'll be starting off with Lucario's worst matchup. And Lucario's worst matchup would have to go to. I cannot find him. Um, Fox. Fox is Lucario's worst matchup. This matchup will make you want to commit cancer, all kinds of stuff. Like Fox combos Lucario like to shreds. He also has a reflect and things like that. Like it's reflex automatically makes certain matchups a little weird and make you a little nervous. A lot of the action that you want to go for, and he literally just combos Lucario like crazy. Um, Even with it being Lucario's worst matchup, it is still a winnable matchup. There are things that you can do to win this matchup, but out of all of the matchups in the game, Fox is by far one of the hardest matchups to do. Um, it just gets to a point where it's really, really frustrating how fast he rushes you down, how hard he like combos you, all kinds of crazy things. Um, Key things that you can look out for that I've labbed and discovered with it is you can stop Fox from recovering. His recovery is really, really gimpable. And also, you can't even. If I remain correct, I believe you can't even aura spear trap him on the ledge or whatever if he's coming up from the stage or whatever. He goes right through it with BS. Um, but if he's recovering, you have to watch out the way that he recovers. So let's say like Fox is like really really far back and he's trying to side B towards the stage. You can jump off and shoot or spray at his face. If he's trying to up B, you can jump off the stage and down air him. You can shoot him with an aura spear that way. So those are like key parts that I try to look for to seal out certain kills pretty quickly and easily. Um, I feel like this is the only matchup like that is really really hard, and even then, like even with it being so hard and like him being able to up air you nonstop and you really having the most hardest time landing, it's still winnable. Like it is a winnable hard matchup, but it is poor. It is terrible for Lucario. A terrible Fox could probably beat you with playing Lucario. In my opinion, this is the only matchup that is just really hard and cancerous. As far as like where it just it's stressful and you really feel like you can't do anything. We're gonna go over to the next bad matchup, which is 45-55 for Lucario, which I would put Mario there. Mario is pretty much kind of in that same boat where Mario really just combos Lucario hard. He does have a cape, which can cape both side B and his aura spear, and Mario is just ridiculous. Like it's a really hard matchup. Like the matchup, it's hard, but it's winnable. You have to really, really play that matchup really patient, um, and smart. Like you have to really watch your aura spears and things like that. Um, and watch those rolls from ledge. Mario just he really combos Lucario pretty heavy. Mario heavily wins this matchup. He can sell out those stocks pretty quickly. Up smash reads to kill throw, his back throw, whatever, and all the other crazy stuff. The key thing to this matchup is really not letting Mario be able to grab you because if you grab, he's gonna combo you to smithereens. But that's with like any matchup. Um, the next matchup I'm going to go to, and this is why I say it's from here, it's really my personal feels. Now, most of these could go into the same category of being 45-55 or 50-50 for the rest of these characters. except for this next character. The next character I feel like wins the matchup 45-55 or 55-45 for this character would be Mewtwo. I feel like Mewtwo beats Lucario. Um, Mewtwo reach is ridiculous. He has a reflector. He can camp you, and there's nothing that you could do about it because if you tried to out camp him or anything, he could just side B it and stop it. And he has like his shadow ball hurts like hell. He beats out almost every aerial approach. I feel like with Lucario. His down tilt is pretty good. And he can, like I said, I play like a lot of like a few Mewtwo's, and all they would do is camp you. You try to camp them back or do anything like that, he just shoot you with a fucking shadow ball and reflector or spear. I feel like the matchup is just. I feel like it's hard, but that's just my personal opinion. I feel like this matchup is hard, but it's not too hard, but it's ridiculous and dumb. It stresses me out. I hate this matchup with a passion. His Nair is like really really fucking good, and I feel like it beats out a lot of Lucario's um, aerial approaches. Now the rest of these, a lot of other Lucario mains feel different about it, and a lot of these could go into the 50-50 category. Pretty much, I believed for the rest of these could also go into the 50-50 category, but the rest of these characters have a certain edge over Lucario. I feel like a bit. So we'll go next with Cloud. Cloud, I feel like Cloud is a 50-50. Like I feel like Cloud is a 50-50. But Cloud has that slight edge over Lucario in certain ways. Because it's so hard to get out of the air. It is extremely hard to get out of the air against Cloud. So if Cloud plays the matchup right, Cloud keeps you in the air and up air you like crazy, you're gonna have a hard time getting down. But why I believe it's a 50-50 is like Lucario like can get a lot of grabs off. It really depends on the play style also of the Cloud main. Like depending on how the Cloud main decides to handle the matchup, if he's gonna be campy or whatever, and if he uses his limit uses wisely and everything, then it's gonna be hard and a pain in the ass. But I don't feel like the Cloud matchup is that hard. If you get him off stage, you try to keep him off stage and shoot him with an Ore Spear, which will shoot him in the face when he decides to be perfect time with good timing. But when you get a high percent, you have to watch out for Cloud's down tilt. He can just down tilt you on your recovery, and then you're in the air, and now you're in a bad predicament. Cross slash can kill you pretty early. Pretty decent percents near the edge, depending also on the stage. So he has a really good job at really closing out those stocks, along with like everything else hurting like hell. But in my opinion, like it's a 50-50, but Cloud does have the advantage in this matchup, just a bit. But both characters can really just stomp each other out. As Lucario, you can really just zone him out and things like that. But because how good Cloud is and his range and everything, it makes it pretty ridiculous. And it also depends on the playstyle. The next matchup I'm going to go to, and this matchup is I'm still really trying to understand the matchup a little bit more. I've played quite a few um, Bayo mains. Where's Bayonetta? Where is Bayonetta? Mayonetta, Mayonetta, Mayonetta. Bayonetta. The next character that I'll put here is Bayonetta. I've played quite a few Bayonetta mains, and I feel like she wins this matchup just a bit. If you like her combo game is pretty good. She can close out those stocks. You get to 125. She can four throw you and kill you. A lot of your options are really slow if you decide to, and you cannot be reverse on her. If you be reverse on her at like high percent, you're dead. She's gonna witch time it, down tilt you, up smash you, you're dead. So getting a lot of those up smash cancels off really isn't going to happen a lot, and you really have to play this match you really just have to play it down to a T. You have to really figure out how your Bayonetta main plays. Like, is he going to side B you a lot? If he does, you just shoot him with a Nor Spear. Bayonetta also can get you off stage and like do Bayonetta stuff like her Nair and stuff like that, and kind of hit you off stage and give you a hard time. She just kind of just outright just beats Lucario in the neutral. She has a better neutral than Lucario does there. And worrying about trying to be witch timed with one of your main setups, which is jump cash or spear to jump cancel up smash or whatever, you would have to really watch out for that. And even your back air, if you try to go for that and she witch times that, you're dead. So witch time is like one of the biggest factors in there, and like really playing smart in the matchup, um, and things like that. And she does combo Lucario pretty heavy. The next matchup now. Everyone else feels like this is a 50-50, and I understand why it is a 50-50. I want to give it just a slight edge, um, and that's why I said like this. My matchup chart is a little weird because I'm giving most of these characters just a slight edge, even though like strongly and deeply I feel like it's 50-50. But when I'm sitting down playing it, I just understand like how the match is and how it goes and weird-ish or whatever. So I want to give it to Sonic. Now the thing about this is that Lucario doesn't win this matchup into high percents. When Lucario gets to high percent, he can just turn around and charge Aura Spear, and Sonic really cannot approach. But other than that, you're really trying to fucking hit Sonic. And at low percents, you just have to fucking like dance around Sonic and really try to get those hits in and everything like that. And it's really fucking hard. And then when you get to high percents, when Sonic is kind of struggling to cap out on those kills, that is when you kind of get it. But at low percent, Sonic stomps Lucario. You don't really have anything to really get him with. Once you get to high percents, you know, you can catch him with Ore Spear a lot more. He really can't approach to the Ore Spear. You can shoot him a few times. You can catch his landings with Ore Spear. So that's when you become more of a threat. But I feel like Sonic controls more of that match, and if he seals out that stock pretty early, then it goes to Sonic. Like the matchup is pretty hard to really sit down and play the neutral. You have to really sit down and be patient and really watch the Sonic habits, the option select that Sonic makes, and you really just have to understand that there's not a lot that you can do at low percents to really just stop Sonic, and he's gonna keep running all over you until you get to the high percent to really stop him. And then that's where like the 50-50 aspect of that matchup comes into play. Now the next character. Now this is weird. I'm not even sure where everyone else puts this character in theirs. I'm gonna give it to Rob. Rob is he's the only other character that I feel like yeah he goes next to Mewtwo. Rob matchup is really fucking weird. He also has a reflector. He just I don't know like this matchup is just weird. Like he just beats Lucario out. He has bunch of nice setups or whatever to really close out those stocks and everything like that. It's a really hard and kind of like stressful matchup because the Blade or whatever the guy or Gyro, the Beyblade or whatever stops Aura Spear shots as well. So and you also have to be careful because Rob does have that reflector, even though it's terrible. So you get your chances to kill him whenever he does that because you can just side B him. But it's really just sitting down and trying to play that neutral and trying to outbeat Rob's camp game and his setups and dodging those. Like Rob, I believe, in my opinion, doesn't, and it may be true, doesn't have a hard time killing, so he really doesn't have to deal with pissed off Lucario. He can down throw you to fuck your stock. He has nice ledge traps, a bunch of them, and things like that. Like the neutral with like Rob and Lucario is like really weird. Like you're really trying to get in and get those hits in, and then like if Rob nares you to down tilt, is really kind of hard to deal with that. As far and as well as like if you try to B reverse to him, he'll shoot you with the gyro or he'll shoot you with his neutral B and things like that. So a lot of those options are kind of like shut down. And you have to use them a lot more wisely there. Um, so it takes those are just one of those matchups that you have to get yourself to become comfortable with to um to learn how to deal with Rob. Now my next matchup, and like I said, this is where like I said this is 100% my feelings towards it. Everyone else will feel different, and after the events that happened at Frostbite, even though like I planned this video and everything before then, will call me crazy for this, but I want to go and give it to Diddy. I feel like Diddy has that slight edge in this matchup, regardless of what anyone tells me or say. I don't say I struggle with this matchup. It just took me a long time to understand how to play this matchup and the things that can be done with it. And I still feel like Diddy has the better neutral in this matchup and has ways to kind of sort of really deal with Lucario if the Diddy player doesn't get too frustrated with it. If Lucario B reverses towards him, you just throw a fucking banana at his feet. He, it shuts him down that way and really keep that pressure up on Lucario. And Diddy has a shit ton of fucking kill confirms. So really trying to sell out those stocks isn't really too fucking hard. You throw a banana and you do a smash attack. You throw him one way, you back throw him the other way, and you just force him to make a bad option and you kill him. Lucario can shoot or spear, and when he tries to go for banana, or spirit does inside B does eat banana if it's laying on the ground. You can also do cool things like if they have the banana, you can run, toss, thingy, side B him, and things like that. But I feel like Diddy, just overall how fast he is and how aggressive Diddy could be, and as far as like just how good Diddy is, has the slight advantage in this matchup. Even though people feel like it's a 50-50, me personally, I feel like Diddy has the slight edge in this matchup. Now the next character I want to get into, and I really didn't know where to place him. I seen a few other Lucario mains put Ike here, so I guess I'm gonna put him here. Even though I feel like I haven't played that many like Ikes, and I feel like the matchup could possibly be a 50-50. So he's in one of those spots where it's like 50-50 slight edge mark, and with Ike, all you really have to do is get him off stage. Like, you just grab him a lot, try not to get hit a lot because the nigga hurts. You get him off stage, make him use his up B, shoot him with a fucking ore spear. If he has to come diagonal at a high percent, you will shoot him with an ore spear and he will eat it to the face and die. So, with this matchup, I haven't labbed it a lot and put a lot of time into it like I have other matchups. So I really can't speak too much on it. I do understand in my mind what am I supposed to do in this matchup. So I'm not sure why, like, I believe it was Ani Day who had, like, Ike at a 40-60. So I'm going to put him there so I don't look too crazy with my matchup chart. But everything is 100% personally how I feel. Now, who am I missing? Now, last but not least, this matchup here is another one of those matchups where I feel like it's a 50-50, but it's a hard as fuck 50-50. And it's to the point where I feel like this character really does have the slight edge in this matchup. And it goes to Little Mac. Um, Little Mac is a dumb fucking matchup. Like, fuck this matchup. Um, Little Mac, if he gets you off stage and you trying to recover, he will down smash and fucking kill you. You're not getting back at high percents, like, at all. Same goes for Little Mac. Everybody knows the story of, like, Little Mac, but it's more so the neutral. Like, any bad option or anything you try to do, Little Mac will fucking punish you and hit you hard for. You're trying to be reversed onto Little Mac, he will F smash super armor and smack you in it. You're trying to land on the ground, he will up smash you. You try to up smash cancel him, he will up be out of it and get you. So the matchup is really hard, and it's just finding that balance with the matchup on how to properly play it. And I've played quite a few Little Mac mains. I've played Nahgato, I played our very own Rhython, even though I played him like one time in tournament. And because I understood the matchup just quite a bit, I kind of knew what to do, and like I SD my fucking last stock. You and like KO punch is also another one of those things. Like, you beat his ass. Like, both of them have that factor of being able to end it. So if Little Mac takes your first stock and he has KO punch, he wins the match. Like, you just cannot let him down tilt you, or else you're gonna lose it. So Little Mac and has no trouble fucking killing, so he really doesn't have to deal with Rage Lucario. And even then, like, let's say you're trying to shoot or spare anything like that or do anything, he will just fucking side B you. So I feel like Little Mac has like that little advantage in this matchup because it's not an easy fucking match. I'm pretty sure I'm not sure what any other Lucario main feels or thinks about that matchup because I haven't checked out a lot of other Lucario mains matchups. But that is personally how I feel. I feel like Little Mac has the slight edge in this matchup, pretty tough and hardly. With the factors, super armor, his smash attacks hurting, that potential, that high kill potential, that KO punch factor, that down smash on the ledge to really kill you at high percent, and everything like that. And that is really it for like my matchups that I feel like are his worst matchup being Fox. His three are his matchups that I feel like these characters have a slight edge over him. Most of them are possibly 50-50s, but I do feel like there are aspects and there are tools that the other characters have to have that advantage over Lucario. And I did not mean for this video to be as long as it has. I tried to really give a detailed breakdown of what I thought about each of these matchups while not trying to go too in. So this is part one. I might honestly, I can do this in like two. I'm gonna do this. This probably end up being like a 3-part video. In all honesty. Um, so these are Lucario bad matchups in Nagato's opinion. Um, and this is just how I feel, me personally, as a player. Not most of these are probably not even like 100% correct. This is just me as a Lucario main, how I feel or whatever. So stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 if it ends up becoming part 2 and 3. More than likely, I will have to make this a 3-part video. Um, as this was just fucking like 20 minutes and I did not mean to go on this long about it. But thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Show the love. And after I finish the whole entire tier list, I will post it on my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Nahgato. Um, Leave your comments down below. What do you think of what I have so far? Uh, what do you think? Who else should be added? What do you think about some of these matchups? If you need any advice on any of these matchups or anything like that, please feel free to ask. I'll elaborate and all of that good stuff on it. Like I said, don't forget to share the video. A little love goes a long way. Nagato out.